Good evening, everyone. This is the Parkinson's Disease and Movement Disorder Society, which is an all-India charitable society working to improve the lives of people with Parkinson's and their families in India. We offer free online Parkinson's sessions now during the lockdown, where we provide information and education, information and tips on diet and nutrition, strength and flexibility, balance and walking sessions, exercises for your brain, cognitive exercises, tips to deal with your mental health, and we also have phone counseling, sessions on speech and swallowing, and also fun dance and creative therapies. We also have special sessions for people caring for people with Parkinson's and also young onset Parkinson's. And we look to collaborate with other people for special sessions like yoga, tai chi, dance, art, etc. If you'd like to attend any of these sessions or you know someone who could benefit from the same, please do contact us. You can use any of the mobile numbers, the email address. You can put a message up on YouTube or any of our social media accounts, Instagram and Facebook. I just would like to inform you that the exercises and information provided by the PDMDS during this program are intended to promote a healthy lifestyle and to support you in your journey with Parkinson's. Please consult with your doctor before beginning or changing any exercise program. Also, please note that these sessions are being recorded and photographed and is the property of the Parkinson's Disease and Movement Disorder Society. By participating in this program or activity, you confirm that you have read, understood, and agree with this disclaimer of liability, and you consent to use of the images and videos by the PDMDS. PDMDS द्वारा प्रदान किया गए अभ्यास और जानकारी का उद्देश्य एक स्वस्थ जीवन शैली को बढ़ावा देने के लिए है। कोई भी व्यायाम कार्यक्रम शुरू करने से पहले अपने डॉक्टर से सलाह ले। कृपया ध्यान दें कि ये सत्र रिकॉर्ड किया जा रहे हैं और फोटो भी खींची जा रही है जो PDMDS की सम्मति है। Okay, so I welcome one and all to a PDMDS educational series where we educate people on Parkinson's and other neurological conditions in the elderly. We had our first session, which was preventing, identifying and managing stroke by Dr. Anil Venkatachalam. And now we are very excited and very happy to have Sabah Shahid with her bookshop on Micrographia in Parkinson's. And this is part of the virtual Micrographia book tour. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Sabah. Yeah, so those of you can see her, she likes to call herself the Chief Smiling Officer. And she is the president of the Art Cat. She has a master's degree in biomedical science. Sabah has combined her passion for medicine and art to establish the Art Cat Smile Through Art workshop curriculum and the Let's Come Back Micrographia curriculum. So Sabah saw the need for introducing a curriculum to help people with Parkinson's disease improve their handwriting. And that is when the Let's Come Back Micrographia curriculum was developed. Since 2014, Sabah and her team have worked internationally to help thousands of people living with Parkinson's regain confidence in their abilities and learn to live better with Parkinson's. Sabah also currently serves on the board of the American Parkinson's Disease Association Massachusetts chapter and works with several other organizations, Parkinson's organizations. Sabah, we're very happy to have you with us. We're very excited. There's been lots of buzz around micrographia because it's such a problem for people with Parkinson's. So we're very, very happy to have you with us today.
I'm very excited as well. Thank you, everyone. It's always been a dream of mine to come to India, so I'm doing it today virtually.
Yes. We can begin. Would you like to share your screen?
Sure, yes. Go ahead and do that. And thank you for the wonderful introduction. So let me know, I'm just gonna go into slideshow. Is everyone able to see?
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right, perfect. So again, thank you for the wonderful introduction, Nicole, and for this opportunity. During this presentation, I'll be speaking a little bit in English and also a little bit in Hindi. I know there's probably several people out there that speak a mix of both, so I'm going to do my best to translate where I think necessary. So Nicole gave a wonderful background. Just to give a little bit more on that. So the art cart is basically, if you think about it, the top tier, and within those two tiers, we have the Smile Through Art workshop curriculum, which is our creativity and movement program. This is where we originally started. We saw the need for there to be art and medicine and a combination of those for betterment of Parkinson's disease. And so in these workshops, we really work on different symptoms of Parkinson's and teach folks how to improve these symptoms through art and exercise. Now, the focus of today's presentation is going to be on the second part of what we focus on, which is the Let's Combat Micrographia. So to begin, what is micrographia? Okay, so micrographia, micro stands for small and graphia stands for writing. So micrographia is essentially small handwriting. It's small, slanted, illegible handwriting. So agar aapki handwriting choti hoti hai, slanted hoti hai, similar to this picture, jo yahan pe screen pe nazar aa rahi hai, there's quite a good chance that you have micrographia. So micrographia, it's a prodromal symptom. और इसका मतलब ये होता है कि it's a symptom जो बहुत पहले disease में आ जाता है मगर लोगों को बहुत देर बाद पता चलती है. So when someone's disease progression has continued, usually they learn about micrographia kind of later on. So before we go on to the next slide, what I want to do really quickly, मैंने सबसे पूछा था अगर आप लोग, if you can bring a piece of paper. So if you can take that piece of paper and just fold it into a third like this. So पहले आप paper को 1/3 fold करेंगे और फिर एक और दफा fold करेंगे like this. Okay. और फिर इस paper को खोल के अगर आपके पास pen या pencil है, I'm going to ask you to just write your name in this first section. So I'm going to write my name. So you can see यहाँ पे 3 section है paper के और मैंने first वाले section में अपना नाम लिखा है. तो अगर आप लोग भी अपना नाम इस first वाले section में लिखेंगे, हम लोग अभी थोड़ी देर में इसको फिर से revisit करेंगे. Okay? So I'll just give everyone another 30 seconds just to write their name before we move on. Okay, so hopefully everyone has their name written now on that piece of paper. For now, you can put your pen down and that paper down. So to give you a little bit more history about what we've been doing with Micrographia. So back in 2014, that's when we really saw the need for there to be some type of resource. Here in the United States, there's many people with Parkinson's that we've worked with that have Micrographia to some extent. And writing for many people is such a personal task where it's very empowering. Even something as small as, signing your name on a check or signing your name on some document is very, very empowering. So we saw that there was a need there. And so between 2014 and 2016, we conducted in-person workshops with people with Parkinson's. We researched and saw what works, what doesn't work. We were experimenting with different things such as writing aids and instruments, and I'll be talking about those in a little bit. In 2016, we were able to put all of that information together, and we released our first edition of our Let's Combat Micrographia workbook, which is available. And then 2 years later, in 2018, we were recognized by the United States National Institute of Health, National Network of Libraries of Medicine, and they actually gave us a community engagement grant to take our book one step further and use the past 4 years of work that we did and make it even more robust. So what we were able to do now is we involved a bunch of movement disorder specialists, a bunch of hospitals that we were working with and collaborating with OTs and PTs, and had them get involved in the material that we were producing. And then in 2019, we were able to release the second edition of our book, and also created our in-person workshops on a virtual platform. So we were probably, kind of overseeing or looking ahead into time, because the virtual workshop came before these COVID times. And it was developed, I guess, in a very good time, because now we have a lot of people that are taking advantage of that. And just recently in 2020, we published the second edition workbook in Spanish. So we have now started translating the book in different languages, as there is such a big need kind of around the world. So here's just an image of the 3 books that we currently have. The one on the left is our first edition, the one in the middle is our second edition, the one on the far right is the Spanish edition. And this is just a picture of several different people. The book now is learned by different communities kind of throughout the world. This picture on the left is of a person in Australia, and this picture here is, I'm sure some of you guys met my husband Chad a couple weeks ago, him and Eli from the World Parkinson's Congress in Japan. So we've really been able to create our footprint and make a lasting impression, through this resource. And we're really excited today to be, I'm really excited to be speaking with you all in India about this. So what are our Let's Combat Micrographia workshops? So this is a 6-week curriculum that we've developed. You can see here people are working on their handwriting in these pictures. This curriculum has, again, been developed based off of the 4 years of work that we did. There's different topics that are covered. Some of those topics we're going to be reviewing in just a couple slides. The biggest thing with handwriting is that you need to put in the effort, right? So the way we've developed our curriculum is there's a huge accountability factor. So if you're going to start practicing your writing and then stop practicing your writing, you probably won't see much of an improvement, right? It's like agar aap log exercise karne ke liye jayenge for the first time, right? Aap log ka cardiovascular system is really going to feel it, right? You're going to be huffing and puffing and you're going to feel very weak. So writing bilkul वैसे ही है. जब आप पहले शुरू करेंगे, it's going to be hard, it's going to be tough, you're going to want to give up. Magar, you need to stay positive, or, kushish kare, you need to fight past the rigidity, you need to, make it a goal for yourself to work at it. And jaise aap aur kaam karenge aur practice karenge, it's going to get better. Same thing, jo aap exercise karte hain, aap jitna exercise karenge, aap utna stronger feel karenge. The same concept applies here. So this in-person series that you see here, this is what we took and made available online. So this is accessible from anywhere around the world now. So now going into how you can, improve micrographia, some tips and some things that we're going to do now. So the first and foremost is, you want to be mindful of your posture. You want to be mindful of the way you're sitting on your chair. So agar aap log abhi baithe hue hain, agar aap kursi pe hain, I'm going to ask everyone to sit nicely back on their chair. Okay, and you want to make sure कि जब हम लोग लिखते हैं तो हमारा posture कभी-कभी बहुत खराब होता है. हम लोग ऐसे नीचे जाते हैं, हमारे shoulders नीचे होते हैं, and we're really not paying attention. So it's very important कि जब आप बैठे हो कि आपके पास एक table हो जो not only is supporting your wrist but also supporting your elbow. So you want to make sure कि जब आप pen पकड़े हुए हो या pencil पकड़े हुए हो, आप table पे ऐसे बैठे हो ताकि आपका hat or all the way up to your elbow is supported by your table. Okay, तो जब आपके पास ये support होगी तो आपके हाथ पे and your arm will feel more comfortable. Okay, so you're gonna have instantly that feeling of comfort. दूसरी चीज जो मैं सबसे कहती हूँ करने के लिए is before you start writing, just roll your shoulders, maybe 10 times backwards and 10 times forward. Again, your rolling of the shoulder is allowing you to warm up your body for the act of handwriting. Okay, तो दूसरी चीज हम लोग लिखने से पहले जो करते हैं to warm our hands up, and this is why I had asked everyone to bring a rubber band or a hair elastic. मेरे पास आज अपनी hair elastic है, so this is what I'll be using. So if everyone can go ahead and grab their hair elastic or rubber band, we're going to do a few hand exercises. Okay, so what I want everyone to do, we'll start with our right hand and go ahead and put the hair elastic between your thumb and your pointer finger. So ऐसे. Okay, make sure कि आपकी hair elastic या rubber band आपके knuckle से आगे आई हुई है. Okay, तो knuckle से पीछे नहीं करनी है, आगे करनी है. Okay, और अगर आपका rubber band या hair elastic बड़ा है, जैसे मेरा थोड़ा सा बड़ा है, अगर आपको इस पे थोड़ा सा और resistance add करना है, तो आप इस पे ऐसे करके double कर दें. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're just going to count to 10. Or with every count, you're going to move your fingers out and then back in. Okay, so we're performing a finger stretch here. We are warming our hands, we're warming our fingers and in the palms of our hands up. Okay, so I'm going to count to 10. What I expect for everyone to do on your end is to count to 10 with me, nice and loud. The reason why I'm asking you to be nice and loud, now we have an opportunity to exercise those vocal cords and exercise that soft speech. So make sure as I'm counting from 1 to 10, you're counting nice and loud with me, okay? So ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3,
Sorry,
4.
Sabah.
Yes.
Sorry, but can I just, do you mind if I put you on full screen and you just stop sharing because people.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you may
Okay.
have to just repeat the, yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah, because people on YouTube couldn't see.
Oh, okay. All right, so let me start that again. So again, you're gonna have your hair elastic or your rubber band around your first 2 fingers. Okay, so make sure कि knuckle से आगे हो आपका rubber band या hair elastic. और अगर आपका rubber band और hair elastic बड़ा है मेरे तरह, तो इसको आप double करके ऐसे fold करके ऐसे रख दें. Okay, तो हमारा अब गोल है कि हर काउंट के साथ हम अपनी उंगलियां खोलेंगे और फिर बंद करेंगे. और जब आप काउंट कर रहे हो, I want you to be nice and loud. मैं चाहती हूँ कि आप अपनी आवाज को प्रोजेक्ट करें क्योंकि अब हम लोग अपने सॉफ्ट वॉइस को एंड वोकल कॉर्ड्स को एक्सरसाइज करेंगे थ्रू दिस एक्सरसाइज. ओके, तो I'm going to count to 10 and I expect everyone to count nice and loud with me. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now, अब आप क्या करेंगे? आप ये ऊपर वाली string hair elastic or rubber band लेके, you're going to move it now to your middle finger. Okay, so it's in your thumb and your middle finger. ठीक है? So nice and loud again. I want you to be louder this time than you were last time. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now take that top and move it to your ring finger, okay? फिर से आप move करें, make sure कि knuckle के आगे है. Ready? So again, we're gonna count to 10, nice and loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. और ये आखिरी वाला हम लोग करेंगे pinky के साथ. So your pinky and your thumb. Ready? Nice and loud to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. तो अब आपके fingers में you'll probably feel कि थोड़ा सा stretch हुआ है, थोड़ी सी fingers लग रहा है कि आपने अपने हाथ को exercise किया है. So you can repeat the same thing on your non-writing hand too, right? क्योंकि anytime you work with your non-dominant hand as well for exercise, you're actually strengthening that opposite side of your brain. तो even though अगर आप right-handed हैं left handed जिस हाथ से भी आप लिखते हैं, make sure कि आप वो same exercise अपने non-dominant hand में भी repeat करें. अभी के purposes के लिए हम लोग सिर्फ अपने dominant hand का करेंगे. And now I'm going to go back to the presentation. Okay. So what did we cover so far? So far हमने बात की है posture के बारे में. So make sure कि आप अच्छी तरह से बैठे हैं और आपका wrist, हाथ और elbow तक पूरा table पे support हुआ हुआ है. The other thing too, it's better कि अगर आपके पैर cross नहीं हुए हुए मगर सीधे nicely floor पे flat बैठे हुए हैं. Okay? और दूसरी चीज जो हमने अभी बात की is to do the hand exercises before we start. Okay, तीसरी चीज जो है that is very very important, and I will stop sharing again so everyone can see me. तीसरी thing that's very important is your writing instrument, right? The writing instrument क्या चीज होती है? Writing instrument can be a pen, a pencil, a marker. It could be anything that you feel comfortable with. Okay, the micrographia के साथ anytime you start improving on your handwriting, you want to make sure कि आप जो भी आप writing instrument select कर रहे हैं आप उसी के साथ stick करें. उसी के साथ स्टिक क्यों करना है, क्योंकि आपका कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्ड होगा. एवरी टाइम आप वो सेम राइटिंग यूटेंसिल यूज करेंगे, you're going to feel more comfortable, you're going to feel better, you're going to feel like it's something that you're used to every single time you start to write. Okay, तो different types of writing instruments होते हैं. मेरे पास आज ये पेन है, आपको नजर आ रहा है इस पेन में एक हल्की सी writing aid है, right? So ये writing aid जैसे ये बनी हुई है, it provides a little bit more support for my fingers to sit on, है ना? जैसे बहुत सारे पेन्स और पेंसिल्स जो होते हैं बिल्कुल भी कुछ इतने स्किनी से होते हैं, and it's very hard for just people without Parkinson's like me to hold it, but for people with Parkinson's it's even more difficult because it's very hard with combating the rigidity, and if you have tremors, to hold that pen or pencil steady. So there's quite a few different writing aids that you that are available. If you let me share my screen again. So is this tashveer over here, this person is holding on to a writing aid. And this next picture, let me just see where it is. Okay, so is तस्वीर में आपको नजर आ रहा है यहाँ पे दो different types of writing aids हैं. तो ये जो ball type writing aid है, this is very useful क्योंकि this allows you to have more of a surface area on your pen, right? तो हमने अभी बात की थी कि पेन और पेंसिल बहुत छोटे होते हैं, बहुत स्किनी होते हैं और बहुत मुश्किल से हाथ इन पे रैप होता है. तो ये वाली सर्कल वाली जो ऑरेंज कलर की राइटिंग एड है, that provides more surface area. तो अब आपका हाथ इसके ऊपर ऐसे करके बैठेगा instead of like this. Okay, तो ये ऐसी वाली जो writing aids होती हैं, they can help provide more confidence. They can help provide ease in writing. Okay, बहुत सारी अलग-अलग writing aids होती हैं. तो and we talk about all these different types of writing aids in our workbook. और weighted writing aids भी होती हैं. तो अगर आपके हाथ में हल्का सा tremor है, अगर आपके पेन में वो weighted वाली writing aid है, so that'll help provide a little bit of stability. तो आपका हाथ ज़्यादा shake नहीं होगा. तो it's really a trial and error process. जब हम लोग अपनी workshops करते हैं, हम लोग सारी writing aids आपके सामने रखते हैं, and we test them all out. क्योंकि अगर एक writing aid एक बंदे को पसंद आएगी, शायद दूसरे बंदे को नहीं पसंद आएगी. So it's very personal and it's very up to what you feel you need. Okay, but बस आप लोग ये याद रखें कि अगर आपको पेन या पेंसिल होल्ड करने में मुश्किल होती है, that there are options out there for you to make it more comfortable. Okay, or now the fourth thing that we're going to talk about, and I kind of covered this before, is अगर आपको अपने micrographia को improve करना है, तो आपको लिखना है. Okay, it's very important for you to continue writing. मैंने पहले mention किया था कि it's like exercising, right? अगर आप exercise शुरू करेंगे और फिर आप exercise छोड़ देंगे 3 हफ्ते के लिए और फिर आप चौथे हफ्ते में फिर से शुरू करेंगे exercise, you're going to be back at square one, right? आपकी exercising capabilities, आपकी cardiovascular endurance वैसे नहीं होगा. Same thing with writing. अगर आप लिखना शुरू करोगे and then you stop for a few weeks, आपकी handwriting फिर से downhill जाएगी. So micrographia is something that can be improved upon. जो हम लोग अपना courses करते हैं 6 weeks में, जो हम लोग अपने book में बताते हैं और जो हम लोग curriculum सबको देते हैं, और अगर वो सबको follow करें तो 6 हफ्ते में आपकी handwriting improve हो सकती है. और there's several different techniques. तो जब हमने शुरू किया था ये वाला presentation, मैंने ये जो सबसे ऊपर ये तस्वीर दिखाई थी. तो ये this is a person with Parkinson's जिसके साथ हमने काम किया था, और ये उसकी handwriting थी week 1 में. ये middle वाली तस्वीर जो है ये इसकी handwriting थी week 3 पे, और फिर week 6 में आप लोग देख सकते हैं कितनी improvement हुई from week 1 to week 6. तो इसने हमारा curriculum follow किया. इसने हम लोग हर workshop के बाद homework देते हैं. Okay, so there's a big accountability factor. और homework का मतलब ये है कि आपको उस पे time spend करना है, आपको अपने handwriting पे time spend करना है, और उस time spend करने से it gets improved. So आपको यहाँ पे नजर आ रहा है there's various different techniques that we use. अगर आप इस week 3 की picture को देखें, इस पे हम लोग words को trace कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, और फिर आप week 6 को देखें कि इस person with Parkinson's को इतना confidence आ गया था कि she was able to write on these lines all by herself. और अगर आप देखें from week 1 to week 6 कितना उसके lettering में largeness आ गई, improvement आई है of lettering, not only slantedness mein, but also in the length of the letters. These are just some nice things that people who have participated in our workshops in the past have said. So I'll just read one of them ताकि आप सबको थोड़ा सा idea हो कि जो लोग हमारे programs में आए उनका क्या how they feel afterwards. So इस औरत ने लिखा था कि after my handwriting became so cramped and small that I could no longer read it, I had no hope that I could ever recover it. After the first week of doing the Let's Combat Micrographia exercises, I had to sign my name. The letters reminded me of a baby trying to walk for the first time. They were wobbly, but they were legible for the first time in years. This workshop has been an invaluable lifeline in my continued fight against my Parkinson's plus disease. So you can see here कि उन्होंने describe किया है कि उनको feeling हुई थी कि जैसे वो baby है जो पहले दफ़ा walk करने की कोशिश कर रही है, तो वैसी उनकी handwriting की feeling थी, मगर after time उनको she gained that confidence and she was able to write again. So this is to show you all कि अगर आपके पास micrographia है कि आप indeed can definitely improve it with some practice. So now we're going to do another exercise. This is a concept that we explain in our book called Think Big. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen ताकि आप सब लोग मुझे फिर से देख सकें. Okay, so now, so this concept of thinking big is to start training your mind कि लिखने से पहले कि जब मैं लिखूंगी paper पे, I'm going to write big. So the way that we do this, so I want everyone to grab their pen or their pencil, and we're going to do this exercise, okay? तो हम लोग ABCs की अभी एक exercise करेंगे. And so again, so जो मैंने शुरू में बोला था आप सब लोग अच्छी तरह से बैठे अपने कुर्सी पे, और अपने पेन के साथ जो हम लोग अब करेंगे, so we're going to go through the ABCs through A through Z हम लोग करेंगे, और हम लोग alphabet imagine करेंगे कि आपके सामने एक बहुत बड़ा सा white board है, okay? तो ये व्हाइट बोर्ड का नीचे है आपके कंधे पे और व्हाइट बोर्ड का सबसे टॉप है आपके सर के ऊपर. ओके, तो जैसे अगर हम लोग लेटर ए लिखेंगे तो हम लोग शुरू करेंगे अपने तो ये है मेरा लेफ्ट कंधा, तो यहाँ से मैं ए की लाइन ऑल द वे ऊपर लेके जाऊंगी अपने सर से ऊपर, और फिर मैं नीचे लेके आऊंगी अपने राइट कंधे पे और फिर बीच की लाइन लिखूंगी. ओके, तो ऐसे ही हम लोग बी का भी करेंगे. तो शुरू करेंगे बी को सर से ऊपर ऐसे और फिर all the way around and back down. Okay, so what we're going to do here is going to go through letters A through Z, writing them on our whiteboard in front of us in very, very large, exaggerated writing, okay? And while we're doing this, again, so this is another opportunity कि आप सब लोग अपने voice को practice करें. तो हम लोग जोर से सारे letters बोलेंगे, okay? तो जब मैं letter बोलूँगी, मेरी expectation है कि आप लोग भी अपने घरों में जोर से ABCs बोलेंगे, ठीक है? So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start down here. So A, B, nice and loud, nice and big. C, D, E, good job. F, G, nice and big, nice and loud. H, I, J, K, L, nice and loud, nice and big. M, N, O, P, Q, R, almost there. S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, last one, nice and big, nice and loud, Z. Very good job. तो अब अगर आपने पूरी अल्फाबेट की A through Z, आपको थोड़ी सी फीलिंग हो रही होगी आपके आर्म में और आपके हाथ में, like आपने कुछ एक्सरसाइज किए. So not only is this exercise very good कि आप अपने माइंड को ट्रेन करें large thing करने के लिए, but it's also a great gross motor exercise क्योंकि आप अपने शोल्डर से हाथ तक पूरा एक्सरसाइज कर रहे हैं जैसे आप लेटरिंग ऊपर लिख रहे हैं. तो अब जो हम लोग करेंगे कि now I want you to, I'm going to give everyone about a minute or so, और ये जो हमारे पेपर के second section है, I want you to write the alphabet A through Z, nice and big and all capital letters, जैसे हमने अभी practice किया था air पे, okay? तो आप लोग जैसे आपने अभी एयर पे किया था वैसे अब आप अपने पेपर पे लिखेंगे, okay, in this second section. So मैं सब लोगों को अभी 1 मिनट देती हूँ, 1 से 2 मिनट, and just see how far you can get in those 2 minutes, okay? तो इधर याद रखें कि आप thinking big कर रहे हैं, you're going to write large on your paper, okay?
अगर आपको हिंदी में लिखना है तो ख ख ग ग न भी लिख सकते हैं, लेकिन बड़ा बड़ा अक्षर में और सोच के.
देखिए मैं अपने letters कितने बड़े बना रही हूँ, much larger than a regular lined paper, right? इसलिए मैंने सबसे बोला था कि unlined paper लेके आएं, क्योंकि जब हम लोग lined paper पे लिखते हैं थोड़ी सी limitations होती हैं. So I'll give everyone 1 more minute and then we'll move on. Okay, तो अगर आप अभी भी काम कर रहे हैं अल्फाबेट पे, don't worry, आप इसको finish कर सकते हैं बाद में. And again, this is another, great activity for you to do if you want to practice your handwriting. तो मैंने अभी mention किया था the difference between lined paper and unlined paper. तो जब भी हम लोग अपने माइक्रोग्राफिया के workshops करते हैं, we always recommend कि आप लोग unlined paper use करें. और इसकी वजह ये है क्योंकि इसमें आपके लिए limitations नहीं होंगी. बहुत ज़्यादा लाइन पेपर जो होते हैं उनकी लाइंस बहुत बहुत छोटी होती हैं और that makes it much more difficult, हमें अपने माइक्रोग्राफिया को improve करने के लिए. और अगर आपके पास सिर्फ लाइन पेपर है, that's okay too. जब आप लिखें तो try to write between 2 or 3 lines, okay? Don't use the one small line, but make your letter जैसा हमने अभी एयर में किया था, तो आप 2 से 3 लाइन को यूज करें अपने लाइनिंग अपने लेटर्स लिखने के लिए, okay? क्योंकि जितना आप बड़ा लिखेंगे उतना आप अपने माइंड को ट्रेन करेंगे कि ओके मुझे जब मैं पेपर पे लिखूंगी और जब मैं चेक साइन करूंगी I have to write large, okay? So this is something that comes with practicing over time, okay? So the next thing, let me just share my screen again. Okay, so this is just a picture of जो हम लोग अभी कर रहे हैं अपने workshops में. So we've gone 100% virtual. As I'm sure you know, COVID की वजह से there's very limited things that we're able to do in person, or given the current state, it's much safer for everyone to be at home for these things. So we've actually been able to bring our workshops live and have been doing them on a virtual platform, the Zoom platform. And then we've also, this in-person Micrographia series that you saw pictures of earlier and that we kind of work through today is also available online. And then as well as, our second edition workbook. And we also have a Let's Combat Micrographia journal that's coming out, which is going to be consisting of various different writing activities and exercises for people to continue that writing once they get through the workbook or once they finish the course. It's really, really very important, for improvement of micrographia that you continue writing. And, I know there's a lot of opportunities where if you have your spouse or your care partner with you, कि आप उनके ऊपर depend कर सकते हैं, आप उनसे बोल सकते हैं कि ये मेरे लिए लिख दो. So those opportunities आपको अपने आप को रोकना है, and you have to tell yourself, नहीं, मैं लिखूंगी और मैं लिखूंगा. And, be patient with yourself. Writing is going to take time. It's going to take time for you to improve. मगर आप जितना अपने साथ अपने body के साथ आप जितना understand करोगे और अपने आप को जितना patience अपने आप को दोगे, it's going to improve. So any opportunity, that you get to write, you want to make sure you're using that to your advantage, okay? So one other thing that we're going to do now, and let me just stop sharing, is आपको जब हमने शुरू किया था तो हमने अपना नाम ऊपर first वाले block में लिखा था. Okay? So now what I want everyone to do is जो भी आपका नाम है आप पहले उसको air में लिखेंगे और जैसे आप एयर में लिख रहे हैं तो मेरे नाम का फर्स्ट लेटर है एस. ओके, तो मैं एस लिखूंगी एयर में और फिर मैं अपने पेन के साथ एस लिखूंगी अपने पेपर पे. ठीक है, तो पहले मैंने लिखा एस एयर पे और फिर मैंने लिखा अपने पेपर पे. मेरे नाम का नेक्स्ट लेटर है ए, तो अब मैं लिखूंगी ए एयर पे और फिर मैं लिखूंगी ए पेपर पे. ओके, तो इस कॉन्सेप्ट के साथ I would like everyone to write their name letter by letter in the air and then transition it to your paper. Okay, so I'm going to give everyone 2 minutes to do that. And just do your first name. Another 30 seconds. Okay, तो now अगर हम लोग देखें हमारा जब हमने अपना पहले दफा नाम लिखा था शुरू में, and you look at the way you wrote your name at the end, right? I'm sure kind of across the board आपने ये last वाला जो अपना नाम लिखा है अभी वो आपके पहले वाले नाम से थोड़ा सा बड़ा है. Okay, थोड़ा सा या बहुत ज्यादा, जैसे जितना भी आपने अपने ऊपर लिखा होगा और नीचे लिखा होगा वेरिएशन होगा, मगर गोल था कि आपका शुरू वाला और ये अभी का बड़ा. So this is another concept. Again, we're training our brain, and we're using this think big method to write larger. So just to review, हमने कौन से topics अभी cover किए. हमने शुरू किया था posture से, so make sure कि आप अपना posture अच्छी तरह से रखो. Support that hand and your entire arm. 2, remember हमने exercise किए थे अपने writing hand पे. So make sure कि जब भी आप writing hand में करो, you also do those same exercises on your non-dominant hand. Anytime आप जो भी exercise करते हो अपने non-dominant hand के साथ, you're actually strengthening that opposite side of your brain. One quick example I'll give everyone, a little homework assignment for everyone. जब आप इंडिया में तो अभी शाम हो रही है, तो आप सोने से पहले जब अपने दांत ब्रश करने के लिए जाएंगे, I want you to pick up your toothbrush with your non-dominant hand. Okay, आप अपने non-dominant hand के साथ toothbrush pick up करोगे, दांत में मुंह में डालोगे, you're going to see how you're actually thinking about, oh, did I go to my back teeth? Did I come to my front teeth? Did I go to my right teeth, my left tooth? Versus अगर आप अपना toothbrush अपने dominant hand के साथ पकड़ेंगे, then you're just going to do the activity and be done, right? क्योंकि it's a learned activity with our dominant side. So anytime जब भी आप कुछ करेंगे अपने non-dominant side के साथ, you're actually strengthening that opposite side of your brain. So make sure tonight, आप लोग जब सोने से पहले अपने दांत brush करें, do it with your non-dominant hand, and you're going to see that it's going to feel very, very weird and very, very odd. But no, jitna aap karenge, utna that hand and that side of your brain is going to get stronger. Okay, so same concept goes here. Jab bhi aap likhna shuru kare, make sure you sit down and just do some hand exercises. Okay, so jab aap hand exercises karenge, that's going to help prepare your hand both physically and mentally to start writing. Okay, jab aap writing shuru karenge, make sure you think big and you use that concept of thinking big. Practice your letters in the air a few times and then start writing them on paper. Okay, so we covered quite a few very important topics in the past about 35 minutes. All of these topics and more topics are discussed in our second edition Let's Combat Micrographia workbook, which is available on our website, or on this let me just share my screen again. So this is our contact information, and this email address that you see here is my direct email address. I just a personal story about myself. My mother-in-law actually had Parkinson's disease She passed away from complications through it. I never had the honor of meeting her, but जब भी मैं आप लोगों के साथ काम करती हूँ, I work with people living with Parkinson's, I feel like I meet a piece of her. So, that's why you have my direct email address right here. अगर आप लोगों को कोई भी questions हो, if you have any concerns, अगर आपको, if you want to go over anything, feel free, मुझे email करें, and I will be sure to reply back to you in a few days. Okay, and these are also our different websites that we have where you can find all other resources that are available. Nicole, that is all I had for today.
Thanks so much, Sabah, for that lovely session and for all the information actually for Micrographia and for improving handwriting. Would you take a few questions? Yeah, can I put you on
Yes,
spotlight? Okay,
definitely.
Great. Yeah, so we had a lot of questions coming in and a lot of them were actually quite similar. And I think you covered most in terms of how to deal with the micrographia and the writing, but specifically people kept asking about their signature because a lot of them saying their checks were coming back or on documents they weren't being accepted. So anything specific for the signature?
So specific for the signature, I would say follow the concept of thinking big. So like my signature is a big S, and then I do my letters and a big D at the end. So do your signature in the air and then practice it on the paper. Okay, so do that several times, right? And I really encourage everyone, before you even work on your signature, just work on your letters. Right? क्योंकि जब आप अपने letters पे काम करेंगे, then automatically your brain's going to know, okay, these are the different letters. This is how I need to put them together. And this is how I need to do my signature. Okay, so definitely use step one as just training your mind to think large, right? And then over time with practice, you'll see the improvement in that. In our book, we also talk about cursive, right? So the best method for improving your handwriting would be to write in capital letters. But there's there's obviously other forms of writing as well. There's cursive, as you just mentioned for the signature. So there's that thinking big methodology. We're really, and practicing it in the air, or if you have a whiteboard, practice it nice and large, pretend like you have this big canvas in front of you and you have a paintbrush in your hand and you have to draw your signature out. Right? If you have a large canvas, you're not going to write your signature nice and you're not going to write it small, right? You're going to make it larger. So really use that concept to improve on that on your signature.
Thank you. Yep. Another question was in terms of when you do have a tremor, you did talk about the writing aids, which were to help to increase the grip. But when people have a tremor, how can they write better?
Yeah, so there's a few different types of writing aids. The one is the weighted writing aid, right? So the weight would be on the pen, and the concept of the weight is to to be more steady, so you're not shaking as much. So you're still going to shake, right? The other thing that I always recommend is if you want to write during your on periods. Okay, so if you've taken your medication, wait 30 minutes for it to kick in, then start writing, because you're going to probably notice that your tremor is less at that point. Right? Versus if you're going to start writing during your off period, you're probably going to be all over the place, right? You're going to be struggling with your hand, you're going to be struggling with the rigidity. So definitely write during the on periods. There's also weighted gloves that you can get. So like the glove will have, sand in it or something, and you wear it over your hand, and that also helps with the tremor. So anytime you can add weight to that pen or add weight to your hand, that'll help with the tremor. But there's no way of, completely deleting the tremor, other than if you were to write during your on periods, you probably notice that your tremors are less than.
Okay, thank you. Another question is, this person says that his handwriting, it changes, but it's more of his hand which doesn't listen to him, in his words. He said it just doesn't listen to me and it doesn't start, doesn't continue writing. So what can he do to overcome that? Definitely.
So I think I had mentioned a little bit in the beginning about patience, right? So when you start writing, you need to have, a conversation with yourself. You need to tell yourself, okay, this is a process, right? Ye pura ek process hai. And I have to be very patient with myself, and I have to, listen to my body. So agar there's times where aap likhna cha rahe ho, magar aapka haath nahi aage badh raha, then stop, do some hand exercises, right? we went through some hand exercises with the hair elastic, but there's other things that you can do too, right? You can just squeeze your hands, you know, and release, squeeze and stretch, squeeze and stretch. अगर आपको feeling हो रही है कि, you know, your hand is just stopped, give yourself a second, give your hand a second to readjust and to recalibrate, and then start writing again, right? So we have to, through the concepts that we, you know, touched upon today and the different concepts that we talk about in our book, there is this whole union that needs to happen between your mind and your body. In this case, you know, your hand, your writing hand. And, you know, with Parkinson's, because, you know, a lot of the times you've stopped writing for so long, you really need to retrain yourself to write again.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question is, so you showed the exercises, but people want to know how many times do they need to do that in a day and how often? And is that the only exercise that they need to do?
So there's a lot of different exercises. Given the time that we had, that was the one that I showed. I also showed the one just right now where you squeeze and stretch, squeeze and stretch. So I recommend anytime you start writing, so say you want to write in the morning, you know, like 30 to 45 minutes after taking your medication. So do that exercise on each hand. Start with just doing it 10 times, okay? So I'm sure as you were going through it, you probably noticed that it's much more difficult to do on your, you know, like your middle finger, your ring finger, and your pinky. And the reason for that is, as humans, you know, we tend to use these two fingers the most. So these are the two fingers that will feel the most confident while you're doing those exercises. So to begin, I would say do it, you know, how we did it 10 times on both hands. And then when you feel more comfortable, increase that, right? So do it 20 times. If you, where's my elastic right here? So if you did it with your rubber band or hair elastic, just with a single loop, do it with a double loop, right? If you didn't do the double loop, you'll see that the double loop is going to add additional resistance. So that's like additional weight on your finger, okay, on your entire hand. So those are a couple different things that you can be doing. You know, any type of hand stretches that you could be doing, do those as well. Definitely do it before, and then after you finish writing, do it afterwards as well, right? Kind of as a release and kind of to let your body know, okay, I am done with the writing process now. And anytime you start writing again, you know, make sure you start with those hand exercises, because that's not only going to strengthen your fingers and strengthen your hands, it's also really great for fine motor skills, right? You're strengthening those fingers. So, you know, I know a lot of people have difficulty with buttoning their shirt. So anytime you're working on those fine motor skills, you're actually, you know, these exercises are going to help you in different areas of your life as well.
Thank you. Yeah, so moving on from, we spoke about like how to make the letters bigger and think bigger, and how to, you know, how to release that stiffness in the hand. But there's also a question about the speed of writing. Is there a way to increase the speed of writing?
So the biggest thing with speed and micrographia, right, is you can't be concerned with speed, right? If you're looking to rush to finish your sentence, you're probably not going to write well. Okay, so I talked about this union between the mind and the body, right? So you want to make sure when you're starting off with writing, you're really paying attention to your letters and you're really writing slowly, right? The more attention that you're going to give to your letters and the more attention you're going to give to your writing, the better you're going to get. And slowly you'll gain that speed, right? So we start with just letters, then we move on to words, and then we move on to sentences, right? Because again, it's a process, right? So if speed is your concern, you're definitely not going to have that from the beginning, right? So you need to really work at it, and you need to allow yourself the time and the patience to, you know, focus on your individual letters, and you know, like when you're quilting, right? There's different pieces of the quilt, and you know, quilt ko saath banane ke liye, you have to, you know, take your time to mesh it all together, and by piece it gets larger and larger and larger. Kind of the same concept here, you know, aap apne letters pe focus karenge, from letters we're going to move on to words, from words we're going to move on to sentences, and with that you'll regain that speed. Magar speed will definitely not be there in the beginning, and agar aap speed pe focus kare, then you're just going to frustrate yourself, right? So you want to make sure that you don't frustrate yourself, and if you are feeling frustrated, you know, just stop for a few minutes, regain your thoughts, maybe do some hand exercises, do some breathing, you know, count to 10 nice and loud, and then start again. So definitely speed is something that'll come later, but don't allow that to be your main focus in the beginning.
Okay, thank you very much. There's one more question. Is there any particular position that you need to hold your pen or pencil at? Like, is it high up? Is it lower down? Is it in the middle?
Good question. So, the best way to hold your pen would be, above the tip, right? And again, you want to try to have your thumb there. Your thumb's going to be your biggest stability factor, right? And then your pointer finger and your middle finger, and then the other two fingers kind of just support you there. This is also where you need to practice on different ways of holding. If you saw in the pictures, there were different writing aids. There was one writing aid where you stick your top two fingers in the top, and then your bottom finger in another hole in the back, and that provides you with stability this way. So now these two fingers are in the back, right? So there's multiple different ways that you can do it. We talk about that in the book as well. But really, there's no right or wrong way, right? Because micrographia can be so different from person to person, just like any other symptom of Parkinson's. So that's why, we recommend that you experiment with that writing instrument. And when you find the one that you feel most comfortable with, you stick to it.
I think that's just one last question. People were talking about when they're writing the pressure that they have to put on a pen, and some say that they have to put too much pressure, and some say that they can't generate that pressure to hold the pen. So is there something with the size of the pen, or how can they generate that pressure and hold the pen and pencil better?
To hold the pen pencil better. Okay. So the best thing I would say for holding is you want to increase surface area, right? So even if you have like a tennis ball, right? Agar aapke paas tennis ball hai ghar pe, put a hole through it and stick your pen through the tennis ball. Okay, so now you're going to have a good amount of surface area, like about this big, right? So now aap pressure us ball pe rakhe. So put all that pressure on the ball, and then you can write that way. That's one great way to do it. If you're not accessible to the different writing aids that we showed you, that I showed you on the presentation, so tennis ball is great. The other thing that I would say is relax your body, right? So you want to do those shoulder rolls. Roll your shoulders back 10 times, roll your shoulders forward 10 times. Do some just simple arm stretches, right? Do some arm stretches, and then do the writing, the hand exercises that I showed. All of that is going to loosen the tension out of your body. It's going to relax your body and allow you to welcome the process of writing.
Okay, thank you very much, Sabah, for that very educational and informative session.
You're very welcome.
We learned quite a few new tips and tricks. So thank you very much for that.
You're very, very welcome. And thank you for inviting me and allowing me to give this presentation to your community. I hope to be able to come one day physically and meet all of you. But until then, if anyone has any questions, you have my email, feel free to reach out.
Yes, thank you so much. I know it's early in the morning for you, but thank you so much for taking this time out to be with us.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. And thank you to the audience as well. So if you have any questions regarding Parkinson's, you can definitely contact us, and we can help you out. Or you can talk to Sabah as well for any information that you require with writing. This is our contact details for any information about Parkinson's. Thank you so much, Sabah, once again.
Oh, you're very welcome, everyone. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Bye.